Hello there everyone and welcome back. The last of my strike cruiser fleet has now got its turbo weaponry installed. So now I got so much more flexibility in this fleet composition than the Battlebarge setup. And even better, I have a good surplus of renown that I am seriously ready to put this Mark II to the test and, if necessary, repair them rapidly for any damage that might be done, because I think it's safe to say, until I can find that sweet spot and possibly get the upgrades I need for it to be viable, there's going to be a lot of casualties, if not straight up losses there. So, ideally I want to try and field this battle barge with my vanguards, but to be a little more flexible and a little more, a little more power, I might consider fielding them with one or two of my strike cruisers instead, because it seemed to have gone decently well against the Tau, and with its superior range and the extra amount of beacons, I could have the Mark II shoot down the shields rapidly, hopefully before my strike cruisers can start unloading with their bombardment cannons. It'll save a little bit of time that way. Where it's a good strategy remains to be seen. And of course, we immediately start off with data recovery. And I'm Defender. And it's Orcs. Probably the last fleet I want to go up against with this battle barge. Ooh, I don't like this. I really don't like this. I'm willing to commit to it, but I'm going to be in a really awkward spot. Because he's going to already be in the middle of the map. I am not going to have a micro warp ship available anytime soon for mobility's sake. Why do you have to do this to me, game? I wonder why. Oh, and I can't even field two strike cruisers. That makes it even more awkward. So, how do I do this here? Can I get away with two vanguards? Again, the problem isn't so much the damage potential, because this lance is always going to hit. It's just the hit points. I'm not going to kill anything worthwhile. And he's going to have a raw number of ships. I would like mobility for this, if I were to be perfectly honest. So, let me use my vanguards, I guess, for this instead. And maybe experiment with Master of Sanctity to block, maybe, any data he's going to try and steal from me. I doubt it works that way, but this is at least a little more safer for my vanguard. Or at least a little bit safer for victory. And potentially, it'll keep my battle barge alive. Because ideally, I would like a little more open space rather than the Orcs or anyone being in the middle of the map, because it doesn't really give me any time at all to maneuver. Let alone have a fallback point. I'm kind of stuck against a wall, against the border of the map, so I'm not going to have a lot of wiggle room. So he can get at me aggressively and just ram me to death. And hit me with torpedoes and maybe mega cannons. And I don't have the chapter master to help get that complete immunity against said mega cannons either, if he is fielding them. Which I don't think he will. Because I don't recall when the last time I ever faced an orc that had mega cannons. And also, do I want to go this way? Really, it's not, either way is not that appealing unless I want to. Only thing I got going for me is that asteroid field. Ooh, and there's a structure there. So I seriously want to consider using that, actually. To try and block. I'm going to seriously consider using this. It doesn't really make all that much of a difference, quite frankly. But at least they'll block torpedoes for me. And the battle barge will get in place and provide some support fire. Okay, this could potentially not be as bad. With nothing but frigates. My lances can reliably hit them. It's just a matter of killing them and maybe getting the critical hits I want. So, let's see how well this works. I'm going to assume those two are the actual cruisers. Which, if that's the case, then I can start chipping down his main ships that he can use for his lightning strikes or boarding attempts. And then he'll have to rely on raw damage to beat me. Yep, I was right about that. So, lock on. Try and do some damage. Also, kill. Yeah, engines are already prioritized. And I'm hoping the torpedoes block. That would be kind of nice. Yes, show your rear to me. Not that it's going to matter for the lances so much. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. And he did temporary damage to one of my cruiser. But so far, lances are doing well for damage. Even though torpedoes aren't doing so much. And he... Okay, that's bad moves, so he has a Nova cannon, doesn't he? No, that's the shock cannon. Keep on firing. And actually, let me make sure this thing keeps moving to get the most out of the prow. Because so far, this is actually going pretty well for me. Surprisingly. Because he doesn't want to commit despite the fact I am a little bit terrified by the raw firepower he has. Get the Stormhawks, Thunderhawks ready. Because this might hurt some. Okay, I did shoot it down, thankfully, so that's not too terrible. Although my boarding torpedoes are about to fire and they might hit my, they're probably going to hit my battle barge if I'm not careful. Yeah, that's a shame. Oh well, one plus side I have is that these frigates can potentially die really quickly since they don't have their minus 20. They don't get the benefit from the accuracy penalty for being frigates. Although they could still do a number on my battle barge, so gotta be very careful. And come on, one more salvo is all I need with this. One more salvo is all I need. Kill that frigate. One frigate down. Can I board the other one? Well, we're gonna find out later, I guess, because right now we got company. I can micro warp jump in a moment though, so I do have that going for me. Alright, so far it's looking promising. Just don't let him get an easy warp out with any of his cruisers when they do eventually get the data. Because that shock attack does nothing as far as stealing the data, so I'm a little bit shocked it's going well. But he was hesitant. He actually... Oh boy. I'm going to have to brace for impact for this because this is going to hurt. Oh, thank you, point defense. Now, let's use the brace for impact to my advantage, shall we? Oh, you better turn. That makes my ramming damage even better. Oh, he's running. He's running. Somehow, despite what felt really awkward and not exactly good in my favor, this is going to be a victory. Aww. I want to shoot down all those damn frigates. Although, should he have completely rushed me down? You would think with so many frigates and the damage potential that would have been a good idea, right? Although with Space Marines and their boarding potential, that may not have been the best idea because of how quickly I can potentially murder those frigates. And the lances seem to have good impact, at least. So long as I am able to get 2-3 salvos in on an unshielded frigate, that thing's going to die quickly. And it refuses to take us back to the score screen. I think the game crashed. That would be awful. Because now we just get to witness my battle barge just murder everything for some reason. What the hell's going on? Alright, that was really weird. I don't know what just happened there with the massive delay, but it did eventually end at some point. I just don't understand why it did that. What kind of weird bug was that? But needless to say, that went surprisingly well. I think the fact that I was constantly hammering his light cruisers so early on probably made him hesitate a little bit too much, maybe. Hard to honestly say. It went pretty well, and due to the fact he only had 2 cruisers, I could have easily kept the data with my vanguards, and potentially a lightning strike from the battle barge since I could reliably take his shields down quickly. It's just a question of how likely he had the navigator upgrade it to reduce his warp jump time, because you would think he would have that if he has the upgrade for the shock tower at least. So I'm a little bit shocked that worked. Although I don't know how much you would consider that a real match, because I kind of would have expected at least an extra cruiser there. Maybe to kind of round it out. I'm not sure what I would have expected from Orc. I just know a lot of torpedoes would have hurt. And I'm attacking a space station assault, so the Mark II could actually be useful here with the lances, but of course I'm fighting chaos. This is like the one exception. I don't feel comfortable using the Mark II. Just a little bit. I'm just wondering, if I am going to field the Mark II, how can I use it that would be useful? Because at 15,000 range, I can basically be outside his beacons until he comes closer to me. But that doesn't necessarily help too much. As much as this battle barge is good at least why am I having so much trouble emphasizing my point? I even forgot what I was going to say. I think it was the Battle Barge Mark II. Yeah, its potential with the lances kind of matches what a Chaos cruiser or battleship could offer, at least at long range. So I do have that going for me. The problem is, it's the only one that can do that. All these other ones are more for medium range, close range. With that said, do I go with the Battle Barge for more brute force? Or do I go to 4 strike cruisers? I think I'll go with the Battle Barge for this. Get the 2 favors in. No glasses, sadly. So we'll go with the 2 hunters for extra vision. As much as I would like to field the Mark II, it has a little bit of potential here against Chaos that has more ships with that kind of range. Probably would not be a good idea. Unless somehow I can avoid keeping the Mark II detected and force him into an awkward position, because you know some Chaos would just love harassing the station and just making you come to them, into their waiting arms. I could have technically done that with the Mark II as well. Just a little bit. It would be tremendously slower, and it would require me to be facing my prow to them, which means I am not very mobile. I am more of a turret at that point. But I like the idea of it. I just don't know if I have the ships to help complement it very well. If I had another ship with 12,000 unit range, maybe? Hard to say. Although I gotta say, this is probably the first time I ever saw a Chaos battle station. I'm not really surprised. It looks almost exactly like the Imperial Navy one. Just a little more desecrated. A little more corrupted. I think Slaanesh and Nurgle had their way with the place a little bit. So now, what is my main priority? If possible, I would like to get some free damage on the beacons, so maybe hitting from a flank might be ideal. It's just a question. I don't really have much gas clouds or anything I can use for some defenses, so this is probably the best I'm going to do. I do at least have the Chapter Master and Librarian to give me that little bit of damage potential. Oh, and I have 2 hunters. Not that it's going to help too much, but we'll give it a try. Actually, why am I auto-casting? I want to just shoot down the beacon first. I think I would like that more. Auto-cast, or no, just shoot all of them and keep the beacons down, so at least that way he loses his shield transfer on that. And just try my best to avoid engaging with the station, because I do have the point advantage. I just need a way to force him to engage me. Which, if he has the spoiler with the defensive fighters on top of these fighters, there's no way my torpedoes are going to get through there. Not enough to be a threat, at least. You would think. But then again, every one of those point defense and fighter shots is a dice roll. So, there's no way I can dodge that, unfortunately. Not with the battle barge. I do have a gas cloud to use. So, let's just use the gas cloud for that. How amusing, there's a mine in there. Can the strike cruiser? Nope. Strike cruiser's not going to get it. So we're going to go into the mine, or in the gas cloud, and try into turret vision. So I'm assuming that's a spoiler there. And that will waste at least one beacon. Now get the second one hit in there. So that way you can't get any more free shots. And I do have beacons, I just got to use them now. Of course he's got the range he needs. Damn it! Just out of range. God damn it. Of course that did me no good, they're not being able to spot any of them. So this is not looking promising already. And you know he's just going to silent run there easily enough, so... And I do have my Stormhawk, so shoot down those fighters, please. More guided torpedoes to fire. A little bit hit the beacon, but that's not saying much. And I forgot about the fighters on my battle barge, so there's that. Of course, I can't do any damage if I can't hit anything. I could spot something, but you know that's going to be short-lived, isn't it? Okay, brace for impact, spread out the damage some. Wait for him to just... Yeah, he's got siege, so why not? Why not hide himself? So, not much I could do here. If I went to the other gas cloud, I would have had some breathing room, but as it stands now, not gonna work. And I have no beacon on this thing either. I have the same speed as him, so I can at least keep distance. It's going to be a little awkward and slow, but I can repair. Let's just keep firing torpedoes. If I'm lucky, maybe he'll overlook his station there, and that'll eventually die. Because I just need to outrange him, if only a little bit. It's not going to say much though on its own, especially when I'm hitting myself. But if those beacons can hit something, maybe it'll do good. But going through the fleet, no, not so much. I'm getting some kind of hits, and he is turning his prow, so that is having a bit of an impact. Not the most organized though, but what can I do about it really? And if I get in close, I'm vulnerable to armor penetrating rounds, so... And there's the fighter shooting. I could warp out. That'd probably be the safer thing, but I am actually withstanding the damage pretty well. I don't have any beacons till another 40 seconds, though. I have no extended sensors. So, can I spot normally? Is the question. If I kill the deck, that might help, but it has to be one with siege for it to be worthwhile. And I gotta keep in mind ammo range, because no, he doesn't have armor penetrating rounds. Make this a priority and start murdering. Don't know how useful this will be, but at least now I'm getting some hits in. Kill these engines, kill everything I can. Yeah, not saying much with a Nurgle battleship that I warped into, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that battleship is a wreck. It would have had a lot more potential if I didn't get screwed over so early there by such short range. Because that Archeon was dying really fast. That is unfortunately a big massive route, and of course I had to miss my first beacon there, and again he did have his siege there, so it's not like it would have done much. With the damage potential though, if I had gotten a good engagement early there, that actually could have killed his Archeon potentially without having the micro warp jump. And of course, I was auto casting my torpedo, so that didn't help a whole lot. Not that I don't think the fighters would have done too terribly much. That had promise as far as the damage potential though. I was withstanding all those lances really well, considering they were all free shots. I had no way to get the detection, which probably would have been what these hunters should have done. But you know, with 100 health, they can't detect anything and live. Not with the lances, anyway. He did have auto-casting beacons, so I could have abused that too. Just force him to auto-cast the beacons onto the hunters. Run them away, and then he couldn't stick them onto my cruisers to give the free damage he did. That would be the only thing that could have worked there as far as his vision. That didn't feel like a horrible battle, though. If I could get the engagement I want, though, then that could have been a different story. Because after all, the hunters were my extra 100 points after all, so they didn't really contribute all that much as far as their torpedoes. I'm willing to bet, anyway. Well. We'll get there. At least it wasn't as horrible as it was before go diving in, but I kind of do need to dive in a little bit if I want to keep vision. That's a bit of a problem. If only slightly. Let's try for one more and hopefully not get screwed over by the fact that he gets to deploy in the middle of the map. That would be kind of handy. Probably the same person, more than likely. It's a breakthrough, so again, we're not going to get it again, are we? Well, what I mean is we're stuck. We have a fleet deploying in the middle. I'm the attacker, so I'm in the middle this time, so this could work to my advantage, but we do need to take the convoy seriously, too. I do want to take the convoy seriously, and with how slow and, well, the lack of mobility on this thing, it doesn't really help with his long-range centric type of style. I can micro-warp jump in, but I gotta keep in mind that the spoiler's almost always gonna have Nurgle, isn't it? Because he wants to get in close for some reason with the carrier ship. Probably because of how bulky it is. But at least that fleet did feel more durable, with the amount of time he was having nothing but free shots after all, so... Oh, I was thinking convoy, I'm an idiot. So he's got the middle of the map once again. But at least I don't have to worry about mines and his pretty much a battle station to give us support. It's just one macro battery for each of these. So I kind of need to have these grouped together a little bit due to his bombers, but we gotta keep an eye on his beacons because I know he's gonna stick them onto my ships. So let's use what we know about his ships there. One Siege, one Slaanesh, and what is it, Nurgle on the battleship. We'll start using that to my advantage there. And just make sure these torpedoes are aiming at something they can kill. So we'll leave ourselves open to possibilities, because I can outrun his battleship if I need to. And just go for a victory that way. And I'm allowed to play slow here, since my torpedoes can put pressure on these outer beacons. Just gotta see where he's deploying. Also, okay, so he tried to deploy on the left. It seems like he's trying to metagame where I'm going to deploy. And this time it may not work to his advantage, because now I got 3 beacons I could just charge. It's really tempting. If those torpedoes can kill that one beacon, I get such easy rain on these other ones.
Show us the enemy.
Just gotta be careful on my direction was not exactly the best. And I'm hoping the strike cruiser can avoid getting spotted. This looks like it's gonna get spotted anyway. That's fine. I could silent run with this easily enough. I'm okay with a silent run when. So that's 1 destroyed. So he is coming to me. So let's force him to do his silent run as well. If not, he'll have to dodge. Let's see what he does. This would be interesting, a little experimentation to see how he would behave. So that's going to be easy, 3 beacons destroyed. He's running his Archons through the beacon, so I hope he's okay with that. And he has a slaughter this time. So he's gone with 4 ships, huh? Okay, so that one does have the armor penetrating rounds, so let's try and play with this some. So long as I have my cooldown back up for my order, I'm okay with the silent run. And now I can focus my torpedoes on him. Yeah, he burnt his siege cloud, so I can abuse that. Let's fire 1 more series of torpedoes at the last beacon and see if that hits anything. And at the very least, he'll take the hits for me if he goes right through. If he's going to try and block. His slaughter's kind of mismanaging itself pretty well. So if I'm lucky, maybe, I was hoping maybe I would get some shots off. So try and keep spread out. Wait for the siege cloud to elapse. And kill the engines of the slaughter. Now, we have 2 lock-ons going on there, so let's try and spread the damage out as much as we can. So brace for impact is up. Brace for impact is up. We're doing damage, although this stasis bomb is going to be a little irritating. But he did kill the brace for impact, so that's sort of okay, because I can easily get that behind my other ships. Mutiny is down. Weapon temporarily destroyed. 2 fires. So that's promising. And the last beacon's gone if I want to go for it. I do want to try a Seer's effort. He's got 2 Nurgles. I gotta keep in mind that. Gotta be mindful of those 2 Nurgles. And also, I have torpedoes. I should really use them. Of course, it helps if I actually hit with the said torpedoes, huh? Now, just kill this thing quickly and that will deal with a lot of that nurgleness he's doing. Because right now that's an overwhelming amount of nurgle damage. Okay, that's one ship out. Oh, that one had a mutiny, that's why. And now we'll just murder this other one while that one burns to death. Not exactly the best positioning, but my brace for impact and all that's about to come up. Oh, never mind. He just temporarily disabled it. Now, shield my ships the best I can. Get the brace for, well, the brace for impact's not up, so that's 2 down. I don't want to warp out with this thing, but just to help preserve it. Don't explode, please don't explode. Ah, damn it. So, do I have repairs? Not anytime soon. But I do have beacons. So, he has no fighters there, but he is firing lances, and a lot of his firepower is gone. And loss of generator is not pleasant either. If I can get my repairs back up, this will be useful. Just get out of range. Although heavily damaged already, so it's not going to amount to much. And I hit my own torpedoes, didn't I? This was looking promising. I just didn't have the raw firepower. I guess Nurgle really did be the deciding factor there. Because you think, with 2 lock-ons, and, well, he did cancel my brace for impacts, to be fair. And I even had a really damn good chance in a mutiny. He just has too much health, I guess? What would be the main issue I'm having here? Aside from maybe wasting a torpedo cooldown when it didn't need to. Does seem to have had promise. I just wasn't killing that dang Nurgle cruiser as fast as I would like. I really do need to look into see if the torpedoes, the fact I auto-fired or auto-cast my torpedoes to shoot down the last beacon, if that screwed me over or not. Because maybe it did. Not having the torpedoes available for when he charged in with his Nurgle ship could have been an issue. Because it does a lot of damage there and it's massive burst potential I should not overlook. So I may have done something wrong there. I was wedged into a corner, so it's not like I could outrun him very well. He did waste his siege, so he couldn't really hide anymore, so I had that going for me. It had promise. It just seemed like it was too slow. So I'm pretty certain it was the torpedoes that screwed me over. The fact that maybe I wasn't committing too fully to him and aiming him properly, or the fact that that autocast may have screwed me over and not having him available for the actual fight. Maybe. That's something I'm going to need to look into.